All right, greetings. This is Brother Thabiti back with you with linear equations. We're going to be doing linear equations using this, it's in the standard form. We're going to solve and graph, and we're going to be using the elimination method. Okay. Okay. And I want you to look at these steps I have here over to the left. Step number one says eliminate x. So what we want to do is we want to put this y all by itself so that we can isolate it. In order to do that, we're going to have to get rid of this x. And so to do that, what you do is you rewrite 2x, and we have to put the opposite of what 2x is, and that's, yes, negative 2x. That's the only way we're going to get rid of it. Okay? It's the same as doing this. 2 minus 2, we know is 0. Okay, so we have to add the opposite in order to get rid of it. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. We have minus 2x. Then we have plus 3y equals 6. And then we have the minus 2x over here. The next thing it says, step 2 says cancel. Yes, we cancel the 2x and the negative x. We'll cancel that out. And then let's go ahead and bring down what we have. We have 3y equals 6. Now, key thing to remember, what you want to do is you always want to bring down this term first, the term that has the x, because that's actually your slope, and you want that to always be in the middle. So we're going to put negative 2x, and then this right here is a positive 6. There's no sign next to it, so we know it's a positive 6. Okay, and the last step here, step 3 says divide. And so what we're going to do is we're going to divide. And the way what we're going to divide with, we're going to divide with whatever number that's next to the y, and that is 3. You know, 3 here, 3 there, and 3 there. Okay. When we divide 3 and 3, that they cancel each other out, so we can just cross these out. Therefore, you have the y all by itself. Bring the y down. Then for negative 2x and 3, we're actually going to bring this down. Whenever you have a fraction that does not divide evenly, you just bring that fraction down. And so that's going to be negative 2 over 3. And remember, when you have a fraction where it's a negative 2/3, that negative doesn't apply to the whole fraction when it comes to graphing. So the numerator is going to be the negative, and the denominator is going to be the positive. Okay. And now we have to divide these two. What is 6 divided by 3? Yes, it is a positive 2. So now at this point, we have what we've been looking for. First of all, we want to find out our y-intercept. That's going to tell you where we're going to start on the graph. And that's always the third term here. So that's your y-intercept. The next thing we want to look at is your slope. That's what this is. It's a slope. The bottom number is always goes first. The top number goes second. What that represents, this 3 right here, the bottom number, it represents the run. That tells you what direction you're going to move, either to the left or the right. That's what run is. Picture this like a plane. Before a plane can fly, it has to run first before it can rise. So the first number, you're either going to go left if it's negative, and you're going to go right if it's a positive number. Then the second number, which is the numerator, that one either going to go up or down depending if it's negative or positive. So in this situation, first thing we want to do is find out our y-intercept, and we said that is 2, right? So let's go to 2, and we go and make our mark right there at the y. And remember, this is the y, and this right here is the x. X is going horizontally, the y is going vertically. Okay, so we go ahead and put our mark there for the y-intercept. Then the next thing we want to do is our run and our rise. So our run is 3. So from this point right here, y-intercept, we're going to go over 3. And then what does the next number say? The next number is negative 2. So we're going to go over 3, down 2, and that puts us there. We do the same thing again so we can get a third point here. So we're going to go over 3, and down 2. And there we go. And now we're ready to graph. So let's go ahead and graph. And so we graph, and we can see we have a straight linear line. And so if you ask me, what is the answer? Well, your answer is right here, is y. You have negative 2/3 plus 2, and this is your graph over here to your right. Okay, so if you got anything like that, you did it right. All right, let's do another one. And on this one right here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up there and I'm going to let you solve it. Okay, and then I'm going to come back after that. All right, so go ahead and pause the video. And I want you to go ahead and work this problem out. I want you to do it the same way I did it. And at the same time, go ahead and graph. All right. All right. All right. Welcome back. Let's see if you did it correctly. So the first thing you want to do is step one here says eliminate the x. And so to do that, we're going to go ahead and write negative 3x. And we have to put the opposite of negative 3x, which is positive 3x, because we want to get rid of these x's, right? And then we go ahead and bring down the plus 2y equals 2. And then we're going to go ahead and put the plus 3x on this side. Whatever you take off of one side or add to one side, you must do the same thing to the other side. Okay? Picture it like a person that's on a seesaw, right? If you have a person that weighs 200 pounds on one side and a person that weighs 400 pounds on the other side, you're going to have to balance that out. There's going to be a problem, right? So anyway, you have to take it the same off or add the same on either side. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's get rid of these 3 x's right here, which is your step 2, which says cancel. So that's what we're going to cancel. We're going to cancel those. And we're going to bring everything else down. We have 2y equals, and remember, we're going to always write the number that has the variable next to it first, 3x. And this is a positive 2, so we're going to put plus 2. And then now we get to step 3, which is our last step, which means we're going to divide. And we're going to divide by whatever number that's right next to the 2. Therefore, we can get rid of that 2 and have the y by itself. So we got 2 here, 2 there, and 2 there. Okay. So we know we can cancel these 2 out, bring the y down. We have y. And now remember, when you're dividing fractions like this, you can just bring that number down. There's 3x and 2, just bring it down. It's actually 3/2 x. Now, if this number, if the denominator went into the numerator evenly, then we would just put that number here. But since it doesn't, we just bring that number down. The next thing we do, we're going to divide. We know these 2 right here can actually divide evenly because 2 goes into 2, yes, 1 time, right? So that is a positive 1. And so now we have what we wanted. What we wanted was, we wanted the y to be by itself. We wanted to find out the y-intercept, and we wanted the slope. So let's go ahead and label those. Okay, so the third term over here is always going to be the y-intercept, right? And the middle term here, where the x is at, this is always going to be the slope. That's going to tell you which direction you move. Remember, the bottom number is always going to be the first one you write. The top one is going to be the second number you write. And you're going in that order. Okay, so let's go ahead and. Okay, so what we have here is we have y equals 3x plus 1 is our answer. Now we have to graph it. So to graph it, we want to find out the y-intercept, which we know the third term here is always a y-intercept. And the middle term here is always going to be our slope. 3/2. Remember, the 2 goes first because it represents the run, what we're going to do first. Remember, like I was saying before, a plane has to run before it can rise. So the first thing we're going to do is go over to the right 2 spaces. And then the next move is up 3. But we have to start from the y-intercept. So the y-intercept we said was 1 right here, right? So let's start at 1. Let's go up 1 and make our mark. Then right here, it says 2 and 3. So 2 means we're going to go to the right 2 spaces, 1, 2. And then we're going to go, yes, up 3 spaces. 1, 2, 3. And let's do that another time so we can have 3 points. Or what we can do is you have a choice. You can start here and go 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. You can also switch these signs here. Instead of +2 and +3, you can do -2 and -3 right here. So we're going to go over -2 and down 3. And if you do that, then you can make your line go this way. Just remember that, okay? So I don't want to put that there and mix you up. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and graph this. So if we're going to graph this one right here, we just start here and it goes like that. Okay. So if you got something like that, give yourself a round of applause. All right. All right. So we're going to do another one that's done a little bit different. I'm going to change the steps.
You win.
We're going to do something a little bit different. Okay, what do we have this particular challenge right here? It has a 0 at the end. So our step, we're going to actually add a step. So I named this one step 1B, and I'm going to make one step 1A because we're actually going to do one step before we eliminate X. So step 1A is we're going to eliminate the whole number that's right next to the 0 right here. We're going to do that first. Then after that, we're going to go ahead and do these other steps. So let's do the first step, which is eliminate the whole number. So what we're going to do is we're going to rewrite this particular challenge here. So we're going to go ahead and put 2x minus 2y plus 5. And since we want to get rid of that whole number of 5, we're going to do, we're going to make a -5 equals 0. And then we're going to add that -5 on this side. So you notice what we did is we added -5 to both sides. And that gave us the ability to get rid of this 5 right here. And let's bring everything else down. Now we have 2x minus 2y equals, and we know 0 minus 5 is -5, right? Now we have the same type of challenge we've been doing in the previous challenges, okay? So this is exactly the same thing we've been doing. So now we go here to step 1B, eliminate x. Yes, we have to do the same thing we did before. We're going to go ahead and write 2x. And that's a positive 2x. This is no sign next to the left of it, right? So now we're going to go positive 2x minus 2x minus 2y equals -5. And yes, then we're going to add that -2x on this side as well. Next stage says cancel, step 2. So we're going to go ahead and cancel. Let's go ahead and cancel this out. If we cancel it, we can cancel this out. And what do we have left? We're going to bring that down here. We have -2y equals -5 minus 2x. But remember, we want to go ahead and put this in the right order. This -2x should go first. And then we put the -5 second, because we always want that x in the middle. It represents our slope, okay? It should always be in the middle. Now, our last step says divide. So let's go ahead and divide. And remember, we're going to divide by whatever number that's right next to the y. So that's -2, -2, -2. Okay? Now, let's see if what we can cancel out. We can cancel these two out. That gives us y equals, these two can cancel out. That gives us x. And then we have -5 over 2. Now, this is actually doing this. That's what this is. So -2 goes into 5 2 times, okay? And it's a positive 2, right? Because a negative times a positive is a negative. So it goes into 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. We have one left over. So what we have is we have a positive 2.5. And so the way we write this is y equals x plus 2.5. And remember this x right here, whenever you have a variable by itself, put an imaginary 1 next to it. Okay, so what we have here, this is actually our answer here. But what I want to do is we know we have to find out the y-intercept. That's this right here. Okay, but what about this 1x? Well, 1x is the same as 1 over 1. Okay, so that's just doing this 1 and 1. So what we're going to do first of all is go here to 2.5, which is our y-intercept, right? Let's go ahead and mark that off first. 1, 2.5. The next thing is 1 and 1. So that just means you go over 1, up 1, make your dot. Over 1, up 1, make your dot, and so forth. And so that's how this particular graph should go. Okay. So we'll go ahead and mark this graph, and it should go something like that. Okay. So if you got that, give yourself a round of applause. All right, so what I want you guys to do is I want you guys to go ahead and work this one out yourself. Go ahead and pause the video and use the same method that I used to solve the last one. And I want you to do the same for this one. Okay, good luck. All right. So let's go ahead and check this, and hopefully you did it correctly. If not, you can correct your mistakes. Okay, so if you remember our steps here, step 1A is we want to eliminate the whole number. Whenever we have a 0 here, this is whenever there's a 0 here, we want to eliminate the whole number next to the 0, and that's a -3 here. So we got to get rid of that. And we're going to do the same thing we did with the other particular challenges to get rid of that. So we have 7x plus 2y minus 3 plus 3 equals 0. And yes, we have to put the plus 3 on this side. Remember, we take the same off of both sides. Then the next step says we're going to, let's go ahead and eliminate these right here, the doubles right there. And so let's bring everything else down. So we have 7x plus 2y equals 3, right? 0 plus 3 is 3. And so what do we have? Now at this point, we can just keep, we can go back, we can go to 1b, which says eliminate x. Okay, so to do that, we do the same thing we did before. So we have 7x, which is a positive 7x, right? Minus 7x plus 2y equals 3. And yes, you have to add that negative 7x on the other side. Now let's see if we can cancel out, which is our next step. Can we cancel? Yes, we can cancel those out. What do we have left? We haven't canceled out. We have the 2y. Remember the negative equal sign, and the -7 must go first, right? And then we have a positive 3. And our last step, yes, our last step is division. So we're going to divide by the same number we see here. We have the 2. And then we have a 2 here and a 2 there. And obviously the 2's are going to cancel each other out right here. And that's going to make this y equals, and this is -7 halves x plus. Now this 3 halves, when we do our division with this is 2 divided by 3. 2 times 1 is 2. So 2 times 1 is 2, and then we have a remainder of 1. So that's 1 1/2, which is the same as what? Yes, 1.5. Right? And so what that's going to tell us, there's 2 things we were looking for when we were doing this particular challenge. What we wanted to find out is what is the y-intercept, which is always this last term over here. That tells us where we're going to start. And then right here, which is the slope. And with the slope, you can always write the bottom number out first. So we make that a 2. And the top number is a -7. We write this in this order because this is the way we're going to work them. So the first thing we want to do is pinpoint our y-intercept, which is 1.5. Let's go ahead and chart 1.5 on our graph here. So we go 1 and then half. So it'll be right around there. Now we're going to go right here, which is our slope, which is 2 and 7, which means we're going to go over 2 because it's positive, right? 1, 2. And then we're going to go down 7, which should take us about right here. Give or take. And then, and if we do the same thing from this y-intercept and we go over 2 and up 7, it's going to take us somewhere around here. And that's just doing the opposite to be able to get your line straight. And now we go ahead and graph our line. And our line should look something like that. All right, close enough. Okay, and so that's how we graph that. So now if we're looking at our answer is right here. And then our graph is right here to the right. So this is how it's grafted out. And so if you got that, give yourself a round of applause. Great job.
You win.